Last year I read Gary Keller's One Thing, and I want to relate a few key findings from my own work on leading yourself. Partway through the book, Keller tackles the concept of priority. I didn't know this, but the word priority first emerged in the English language in the 14th century. It came from the Latin word prior, meaning first. If something mattered most, he writes, it was a priority. What I found fascinating was that it was only in the 20th century that we made the word a plural, priorities. It reminded me of a client who invited me to a workshop and asked me to help them meet their 32 strategic goals. Which one of these is the most important? I asked. They all are, my client replied. Now, until we realize this is a fool's errand, we are going to tie ourselves in knots of busy frustration. Leadership at all levels, whether it's at the organization level or of a project or of oneself, is about making the hard choices and identifying that priority, the one thing. Gary Keller argues for the ruthless search for the one thing among many. And this is what he says: purpose without priority is powerless. It's an uncomfortable read. He also charts the work of Joseph M. Juran, who popularized the work of Alfred Pareto and coined the term the Pareto Principle, often called the 80-20 rule. Otherwise called leverage, it is the reality in most areas of life that very few things cause the most problems or generate the most success or produce the best results. All things are not equal in these matters. So focused attention to these few is likely to deliver the best results. Keller's ruthlessness continues in taking the to-do list, where we might include things that are not high leverage activities, and suggest translating these into a success list, eliminating, weeding out all of those things that maybe are not the high leverage elements. The key quote for me that discriminates the one thing is, what one thing will make everything else easier or unnecessary? So when you consider your daily most important task, or MIT as we call it, on leading yourself, this could be your daily one thing. How about a weekly one thing? Then this leads to a monthly, quarterly, even annual one thing. And this leads us onto our dreams. What one thing will take us closer to realizing our dream? My problem with this book is that I find very little to disagree with. So I would recommend Gary Keller's One Thing. Whilst dealing with some very profound life issues and challenging some commonly held myths such as multitasking, he writes with a clarity and from his own experience. So yes, I very much recommend it.